you behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Every team has a goal. Every team makes a plan. But only one team in the world has what it takes to succeed, no matter what gets in their way. Find out more at goarmy.com/team.
On my own, I can work on my strength, my quickness, make a tackle, make the highlight reel. But when we play together, we can be more. Together, we can bring our nation to its feet. Make history. Together, we are one.
Here at halftime of this international friendly, Venezuela has a 1-0 lead over the United States. About to announce our Gold Cup roster, the preliminary list, which includes a 40-man roster. There are 6 goalkeepers involved in this process, but there is one name, Stu Holden, that is standing out for a lot of reasons.
It's Jesse Gonzalez, the FC Dallas shot stopper. He has represented Mexico at the U20 and U23 levels. There was a report that came out this week from the USA Today stating that he had decided he was going to play for Mexico. I confirmed and talked to his agent, Spencer Wadsworth, before this show, and he told me if called up for the United States, which he's been included as part of that 40-man roster, he will represent the United States, and he would be honored to accept the call-up, which would mean he would be cap-tied. I think this is huge for the United States because if he does play and he is cap-tied, he is the potential next goalkeeper. There's Tim Howard, there's Brad Guzan. There's nobody that solidified themselves at that emerging star, and I think he could be that guy.
That is potentially big news. Let's focus in now on the midfielders and what jumps out at you on this page.
Well, Christian Pulisic, you're going to see his name on there. Bedoya, Bradley, Dax McCarty, Tommy McNamara, New York City's finest, and also Clemson Tiger. But when looking at that list, it's important to remember the United States can change out 6 players after the group stage. I don't think we'll see Pulisic in that group stage. We might see him after that. So a couple names that Bruce Arena can look at. There's no Sasha Kljestan, no Benny Feilhaber, but these are players that Bruce Arena has already seen and he knows what they can bring. So some new faces he can look at.
We speculated that Dom Dwyer might get a call-up for the Gold Cup. His name is on this 40-man roster.
He is. There's some usual names, Chris Wondolowski, Jordan Morris, Juan Agudelo, but Dom Dwyer is one that sticks out because he has an opportunity, married to Sidney Leroux, American citizen. An opportunity now, I think, is for the Gold Cup to cement a place going towards Russia. Now, Dom Dwyer's never been called up by the United States. This would be his first call-up if selected as part of that final roster, and an opportunity to work firsthand with Bruce Arena a month long in a camp and see if he can get a place in that forward line heading towards World Cup qualifiers.
Well, there you have it. That's the 40-man preliminary roster for the upcoming Gold Cup carried this summer on Fox. Come back with us for the second half. Venezuela has a 1-0 lead over the U.S. Champions League title.
And I was also, as we're looking for that substitution to be made, watching Bruce Arena have a detailed discussion down to our left with Kellen Acosta and Matt Hedges going over the sheet, which is typically where you will be marking different set pieces, different assignments. So we'll see if we'll see them early in the second half.
They were the only team out there. Venezuela's finally coming out. Let's go downstairs to Jenny Taft.
Well, as we heard from Bruce Arena before the break, he said possession doesn't matter to him, but he did share with his players in the locker room that there were moments he was pleased about. He did reiterate 3 points he'd like to see. He said overall, our movement hasn't been that strong. We've been going sideways and backwards. We're allowing them to get behind the ball too much. And defensively, we need to be able to win those battles. Overall, our spacing needs to be better.
Thank you, Jen. A lot of that possession was backwards
and I completely agree with Bruce Arena. That's an excellent report.
Getting ready for the second half kick. Just joining us, USA in red, Venezuela in yellow. And that one change, Omar Gonzalez, who became the first American to win the CONCACAF Champions League, a Liga MX title, and also an MLS Cup. Not all in the same year, obviously. Offside flag goes up on Murillo. So the U.S. is probably surprised that they're trailing, but I would think Venezuela might be also surprised that they're up, Stu. We'll see how they play it.
Exactly, and when we're talking about spacing, I think Bruce Arena is referring to the spacing between both Pulisic and Michael Bradley, because when the United States are in possession, as they are now, there's a big gap between them. It's almost as if there's a back five and a front five, and no one's really looking to come in those spaces and combine an understanding between Clint Dempsey and Bobby Wood. All those little things that have led to frustration for the United States in that first half.
Nagy's trying to get around that last defender, Camacho. Good effort, good hustle. The ball is turned over. Six subs available, eligible, I should say. One has already been used in Omar Gonzalez. Contreras will send it forward. It's an unchanged Venezuela lineup, and that high foot from Bobby Wood results in the foul. Close to the eye, looked like a Flores. Unfortunately, Flores looks none the worse for wear. We congratulated Real Madrid yet?
Fantastic performance, wasn't it?
Yeah. A 4-1 win over Juventus. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Of course it was
2 goals, naturally. On this far side, intended for Rondon. That's cut off, and then a foul. Easy one to call. With Brooks going down. Rondon wearing the captain's armband. Not a factor so far, but he is a guy that could have an impact on this game. Only goal came from a center back, Velasquez, off of a corner kick.
Well, noticing already the buildup from the United States, Fabian Johnson, who had been tucking a lot inside on that right flank, he looks like he's been asked to play higher and wider, and Clint Dempsey's now dropping into those spaces to pick up the ball.
Nagby, out wide, crossed by Villafana, the header was wide, it was there though.
Speaking of Clint Dempsey.
Yeah, great opportunity for Clint.
Well, and what that does when he drops in a little bit deeper to pick up the ball, it then allows him to arrive late into the box. Villafana does well, he just stands it up. Dempsey does what he does best and just finds the ball inside the box. Good movement, attacks it well. Doesn't get the technique right to try and find that inside corner of the right post.
Could have been a record-tying goal for the U.S. 56 career international goals for Dempsey. Record is 57, held by Landon Donovan. Wood and Dempsey going forward with some help. Pulisic, he thought Nagby was going to come up. Nagby gets it from Johnson. Nagby, that's deflected. Push forward, then cut off. Rondon takes off on the left side. Bradley trying to slow the play down. Machis. Venezuela looking good, spreading it out. Santos, the cross, headed away at the last moment. And the U.S. will get to it. Villafana got back there to break it up.
It's a good break by Venezuela again, off on the counterattack, and Murillo on this near side to us had made a darting run 30 yards across the field. Dragged Villafana with him.
Shot taking his block, appeals for a handball, but they're not going to get. The clearance by Venezuela. A nudge there from Brooks. And now play is stopped. The U.S. has Brooks down.
Well, let's get a look at this handball. It certainly hit, I think it was Velasquez's hand. It's Camacho. Ball to hand, hand to ball. And it's his body, his hand is tucked right inside his body there. I don't think that's a penalty. I think the referee gets that one right. John Brooks, as he goes up for that one, it looks like he's going down, grabbing his right hip. Didn't look like a lot of contact.
He's had some injury problems, and Wolfsburg would be concerned anytime he goes down after you spent that much money on a player, for sure.
Yeah, and especially going back to that Honduras game, he went down at the end of that first World Cup qualifier, didn't make the trip down to Panama, went back to his club team. He's had a couple little niggler injuries.
Risk reward, right? You got to be careful with this. Depends on what the injury is as he's limping off, but they know this is a friendly. They'd like him to continue, but you said one of the keys at the top, stay away from injuries.
Stay away from injuries.
2 big games coming.
And also that partnership between Jeff Cameron and John Brooks. You said it right at the top. It's a great partnership, but we haven't seen it enough because of injuries. So it looks like he's getting ready to come back in. You have Matt Hedges who's warming up. Tim Ream is also warming up. You have a couple of different options, and if there's any doubt over John Brooks' fitness right now, I don't think Bruce Arena would be taking a chance by letting him go back into this game.
With the referee Solis's permission, John Brooks is back out on the field. Venezuela leading the U.S. by a 1-0 score. 2 wins and 2 draws under Bruce Arena since his return to this team. They're trailing here. Howard will prevent that from becoming a corner. Howard's been tested tonight. He's had to come up big on a couple of occasions. Dempsey trying to find Nagby. That one might have been telegraphed. Rondon going forward, saw an opening. That was cut off. Brooks did a good job, as did Bradley. Villafana for Bobby Wood. They'll bring it back. Bradley away from the pressure. Bradley, captain of his country and also his club team, Toronto FC, would look like the strongest team right now in Major League Soccer. Villafana.
On friendlies, when you're looking at opponents, you typically try and look for opponents that will play similar ways to games coming up, that you have coming up. And the way that Venezuela are sitting deep, allowing the United States to have possession, I fully expect for the game to look that way against Trinidad and Tobago. So now how can the U.S. find the answers? How can they find a way to break down a deep line defense? Because Bruce Arena talked about tempo. I've yet to see the United States raise that tempo in the attacking third, looking to play passes that break the lines and get in behind.
It's a good one initially, but it got away. Velasquez defending against Bobby Wood. The battle for the ball. It's ruled a goal kick for Contreras. Signed again with Hamburg, but he said not right now. That's not true. Not that it necessarily won't happen, but it has not yet. Machis dropping it. Murillo towards the middle, laying it off. Big switch. Down well. Macho. Murillo. Flores. This is as well as they've spread the ball around tonight. Santos! When it left his foot, it looked like it might have gone upper corner.
It certainly did. And as he was shaping up for this one, you could see exactly what he's trying to do. He was just trying to bend it around. Looks like we've got an injury now for Venezuela. Velasquez, the goal scorer. Here's another look at it from Santos. He's just trying to curl it with the left foot. Tim Howard having a word. He thought he felt that he had too much space on the top of the box to pick his head up and have a crack at goal.
We were told Velasquez was going to be coming out to be replaced by Jordan Osorio. So they must have seen that on the sideline before he went down. He was laboring.
And Velasquez, one of the more experienced players on this team at 26 with 24 caps.
He's the only player to have scored in this game tonight. Take you back to the 30th minute.
And it was Moreno, the man who took the corner kick. He wins that second ball. And Velasquez was aware, just drifted off the shoulder of Fabian Johnson. Got the outside of his boot on it, and has the only goal in this game so far.
Matt Hedges' number is going to be put up there. He's going to replace John Brooks. So what a great test this is for Matt Hedges. Maybe Stu getting more minutes than he might have thought in this game.
Yeah, Matt Hedges was called up by Bruce Arena to January camp. He went down with an injury. Walker Zimmerman then kind of emerged from that camp. Impressive performance against Jamaica, was called up to the last qualifiers. Hedges was not, and Hedges is back in the mix. And Bruce Arena talked very highly of him to us yesterday, saying has an excellent recognition of space. He's a leader in the back. He's this tall, strong, physical presence. Thinks he's one that could perhaps work his way to become a regular in this group.
He talked about his good movement, knows when to step, when to slide. For more on that, here's Jenny.
Well, just to add a little bit to that, Bruce Arena, yes, he did compliment what he can bring, the reigning MLS Defender of the Year. And when I caught up with him yesterday.
Ball's played across. Continue on, Jen.
He was very clear in telling me I need to be consistent because the competition in the back line, it's competitive. There is a lot of good players. I need to show Bruce what I can do here.
It's a nice ball. One, Johnson. A bit of a whiff as he tried to come around on a difficult ball. Off Nagby. Taken away. Good cover there from Hedges, who was not only on the best 11 last year for Major League Soccer the last 2 years, but last year the MLS Defender of the Year. He had a good partnership with Zimmerman, who is now out with an injury.
FC Dallas missing both of them tonight. They didn't struggle, did they?
No.
6-2 against Real Salt Lake.
Real Salt Lake, though, is struggling. This is their home stadium. They've had some big losses this year, some injuries, and 4 players from Real Salt Lake are contributing on that USA Under-20 World Cup team. That's the most from any team.
And they also have one on the bench for Venezuela tonight. Jefferson Savarino. Perhaps we'll see him in his home stadium at some point.
Nice movement here from Venezuela. And the foul is drawn. Despite the protest of Yedlin. This guy's been a handful all night, Machis.
He has. He's shown an ability to go wide onto that left foot, also to come inside and use his pace. He's got a little trick in his locker, throw a little step over, cut inside. He's been very lively for Venezuela.
Free kick from beyond 35 yards for Venezuela. 59th minute. 1-0 lead to go by Velasquez. Launched up there, but right at Tim Howard.
This was that earlier opportunity. Yedlin doesn't think he's going to go there. Santos with a little back heel and opened up the window. It's a good cutback by DeAndre Yedlin, and Fabian Johnson can't quite connect. Looks as though he'd taken his eye off the ball at the last minute. 2 on-rushing defenders, Osorio and Villanueva.
Nagby will leave it for Michael Bradley. Getting closer to that hour mark. The U.S. has made 2 changes of the 6 that they're allowed. Venezuela's made 1 change. Dropping it back. Omar Gonzalez. A great career in the LA Galaxy, now playing over in Mexico. Down this right flank. U.S. with Yedlin high up. Plays it all the way across. That ball sailed wide. Near the goal kick.
Delivery didn't match from DeAndre Yedlin, but this is where he's at his best. In the attacking final third. Running at defenders, and oftentimes why people think sometimes he should be a right winger, because he has that pace, he has that first step, dips his shoulder, comes inside. As we talked about earlier, he won the championship this season with Newcastle United. Will be back in the English Premier League, where he played last year with Sunderland on loan from Tottenham. Took a lot of criticism, didn't he?
He did.
For making that move, going down a league when many felt he could have stayed at Sunderland. It looks like a good decision now, doesn't it? Because Sunderland will be dead in the championship. Newcastle are up in the Premier League. He's playing week in, week out under a world-class manager in Benitez. And I can certainly see an improvement in his game over the last year.
Murillo coming back. Kellen Acosta, maybe the next U.S. sub. Rondon, it's deflected. U.S. has to clear this out, and they do with ball one by Villafana. Two subs actually for the U.S. It's Acosta and Ream that are up. Nagby. Pulisic, Johnson couldn't get through. Johnson cutting it, open look maybe. Pulisic, go! It's tied! The teenager has done it.
I talked about his production in the Bundesliga this season for Borussia Dortmund, and these are the little things that separate him and why he has touch is great. He opens up his body, fakes as though he's going to shoot, goes to the left foot and back across goal, and Contreras can't do anything. It comes through traffic, goes through the legs of Moreno. An excellent strike, and then it's all business for Christian Pulisic. Heads down. Doesn't seem too excited, hasn't been happy with his team's performance in the first half. They're level, but he wants more. The 18-year-old, fifth career international goal in his fifth.
What formation maybe the USA may go to here, and who plays where? Venezuela will move it ahead. Let's see how both teams respond now after that last goal. For an 18-year-old, Pulisic doesn't really defer. When he sees an opening, he'll go for it. He'll take that shot.
He does, and many opportunities that he had in this first half, he was looking to combine, looking to try and...
Fourth official. Venezuela will make the change soon. Murillo. 64th minute, 1-1 game. Broken up. And the foul, free kick. But an injury as well.
We're going to show you a look in a second, but the United States have switched, JP, to a 3-5-2. It's a three-man back line of Gonzalez, Hedges, Tim Ream. In front of him is Kellen Acosta, Michael Bradley. And it was Acosta who's whistled for the foul on Murillo. Seems a little harsh. Caught him perhaps just a little contact after the play, but he'd already won the ball. And I think Kellen Acosta this season for FC Dallas has been the best box-to-box midfielder in MLS.
That's high praise.
Plays my position.
There you go.
But he is, I've talked a lot to him. He's very humble. He's very dedicated. He has high ambitions.
But here's the thing. He's only 21, and it's his 5th year now in MLS.
It's FC Dallas.
Yeah. I mean, they bring in these young players, right? These homegrown players, and they give them an opportunity. They give these guys an opportunity. Yeah,
and Jesus Ferreira, 16-year-old, making an appearance for FC Dallas. Oscar Pereira.
He's not afraid of throwing the kids.
He's certainly not, and they're reaping the rewards. One of the model franchises for developing youth in the United States.
Good job, Oscar. So Venezuela has not made the change. It is Santos. They're playing with 10 men right now. Santos puts it up over Howard. Played out short to Ream. Villafana. Nagby. Referee still hasn't let Murillo back out onto the field, which is surprising. Now he's on. Here's Nagby. Playing it across. Yedlin. Bradley. 1-1 game now, thanks to the goal by Pulisic. Down the side, Ream trying to slow down this play. Murillo trying to go inside. Ream staying with him. Ream from Bolton.
Formerly a Bolton, former teammate of mine, now at Fulham in the championship, just missed out in the playoffs.
Did that Bolton mention for you?
Thanks, JP.
Left side cross is going to go out of play. Throw in. You should see the sub here for Venezuela.
Do you want to also mention they got promoted to the championship this season?
I was going to let you do that.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Machis is coming out. The U.S. won't be upset that he's coming out. He was a handful to defend against today. Darwin Machis. Aristoteles Romero will replace him.
See where Romero goes, his first cap for Venezuela. We talked about it, it's a very young team. A lot of players making their debut. Solomon Rondon was leading the way with 59 caps for this team. The most experienced player on the squad by a long shot.
U.S. getting it back. Nagby leading the attack. Waited. Oh, he had Bobby Wood right there. Osorio will square it. Villanueva. Jordan Morris has been warming up for the U.S. Murillo. Romero. Big switch. Venezuela will keep it alive. 1-0 lead and a goal by Velasquez in the 30th minute. That's way too far for Murillo, and it's going to go out of play. Goal kick for Howard.
Here's a good look at the United States, how they're lining up. That's DeAndre Yedlin on their right. Three-man back line splits wide when in possession. Then Michael Bradley's going to drop deeper and pick up the ball. You have two very mobile center midfielders in front of the back three, Bradley and Kellen Acosta. And then that's going to try and open up space for Pulisic and Nagby to create for Bobby Wood, where he's in his best position as a high nine striker to run in behind, to drop off and link up play. The United States have good personnel for this formation if they can get the understanding and the movements right.
Ask you, playing with three in the back, is that a tactic just for this game, or do you think maybe it's something that Bruce wants to see? Could he use it against Trinidad and Tobago? Could he use it against Mexico?
I think you'd be more likely to see this potentially against Mexico down in Azteca. And if you remember, the last time we saw the United States line up in this formation, it was against Mexico at home, and they switched out of it after 30 minutes because it wasn't going well, and the players didn't have a good understanding. But I think if you get the understanding in that back three wide, they can deal with Mexico's wide players who are interchanging all the time, whether it's Dos Santos, Vela, all these different Corona, all these different tactical, technical players. If the United States can get that, they can get the overload in midfield and dominate and not absorb and sit back so much defensively.
Jordan Morris is going to be coming into the game for Darlington Nagby. Those two are extremely bitter rivals, not them personally, but their teams in MLS. So Seattle Sounder replacing a Portland Timber player here. Morris was the MLS Rookie of the Year, outstanding year last season. Looking for his third international goal. The corner now for Pulisic. Sending it all the way across. Contreras got boxed out. He's probably fortunate, maybe not, because he might be hurt.
Not on the injury side, but he's certainly fortunate, as you said, JP, because he comes a long way. And that ball was up in the air for a long time. There's a number of bodies between him and the ball. Didn't quite get a punch on it. There was some contact, but you've got to expect that as a goalkeeper when you're coming up to try and claim a ball in a crowded box. And here's a look at it. And Christian Pulisic doesn't hit this one with as much speed that he had previously. There's two defenders in the way before Matt Hedges. Contreras has got his eye on the ball. He trips on, looked like Rondon. Has a heavy fall on his hip.
Guy you speculated on we might see tonight, Jefferson Savarino, who plays now for Real Salt Lake, is by the fourth official, so we could see that happening soon. Reportedly for Santos. Savarino's on loan, but we're hearing that Real Salt Lake would love to end up buying him if they can. He's owned by Zulia in Venezuela. Still looking at the injured goalkeeper, so no sub yet. The U.S. has made 5 subs to this point. Now we're going to see Venezuela make this change. And some in the stands recognize that it's going to be Savarino, despite no name on the jersey. Jefferson Savarino coming in now for Santos. One of RSL's finest coming on now, making his international debut. It's part of what MLS is all about now, signing younger players with talent.
I'm sure these Real Salt Lake fans will want to see him do well, but not too well tonight against the U.S. men's national team.
Mixed emotions, right? This deflection comes back to Contreras, who appears to be okay. US wins it here with Villafana. Pulisang, Wood was calling for it. It's played back. Kellen Acosta. Villafana, teasing ball up, headed straight up and over. Should be a goal kick for Contreras. So the last sub that came in was Jordan Morris. For more on that last sub, here's Jenny Taft.
Well, I'm hearing from the U.S. staff that the reason Morris came in was a couple different factors. Keep in mind a quick turnaround before Trinidad and Tobago. Want to make sure he has some minutes and also giving some guys some rest, some fresh legs. But the biggest factor, wanting to make sure we have that width up top. That's what they're looking for from Morris, guys.
Jordan Morris will get maybe about 20 minutes or so.
And off the back of that, Darlington Nagbe's, we talked about, he's a connector. He's going to look to come in and find those pockets. Jordan Morris, he's going to look to stretch a defense. He's going to look to get in behind. And you see he's just swapped positions temporarily with Bobby Wood and occupied that number 9 role. And then now he's going to drop back. He's got his head looking up. Rondon, smart run off the back of Omar Gonzalez. Savarino puts it in the right place, but the contact's not good enough. Not going to beat Tim Howard from there.
Gonzalez finding Tim Ream. Michael Bradley. Jordan Morris. For Villafana, back for Morris. Morris cutting inside. Tackled away at the last moment by Camacho. Out for a deep throw-in. Well, sometimes you lose rhythm when you make all of these changes, but it doesn't seem that way here for the U.S.
You can either lose your rhythm, JP, or it can give you a little lift, give you some fresh legs. Kellen Acosta's given that, Jordan Morris has given that. It will be Kellen Acosta to deliver this free kick.
Contreras just went down again. The backup goalkeeper tonight is Alain Baroja, who's actually more experienced than the guy starting tonight. Solis wants to get this game going, but they're signaling sub. That was a signal for the goalkeeper.
It looked to Lemieux, so he's saying no, but we'll see.
I saw somebody else give the signal for sub. Now he's saying hold off. We thought Contreras would be busier tonight, but the U.S. was a bit off target, especially in the first half. They did not look too threatening.
But when they did look threatening and when he was called upon, Pulisic beat him down to his left-hand side. Came through traffic. It's tough for him to get his feet set and react to it.
Thibaut Tachira is his club side.
It seemed a little strange. All he needed was a little tape to wrap up his left leg.
5th cap from Kellen Acosta, got his first one in 2016, got 4 caps that year. Acosta will drive it, bounced away, and it's headed out. Opportunity was there for Ream.
Ream has his head in his hands, but so does Bobby Wood. And it's a great ball in from Kellen Acosta because it's hit with pace. It's got a great in-swinging trajectory. so hard to defend when you're going back towards your own goal. Bobby Wood knows it, because when it's hit with that type of pace, all you need is just the slightest of deflections to send it in. It's tough for Ream to react at the back post.
Contreras puts it back into play, well over the halfway line. It's Ream sending it forward. Morris contesting for that. Romero picked up by Ream, finds Bradley. Hedges. Acosta. Captain Michael Bradley walking it to the halfway line. Now pulls back for Acosta. Really behind the ball for Venezuela. They'd be thrilled with this kind of a result. They did have a 1-0 lead. Foul is called. So the U.S. have one more sub left, Stu. So we'll see. I would think Bruce will use it.
Yeah, I'm looking at Dax McCarty, Graham Zusi, and Alejandro Bedoya, who are warming up. So all midfielders.
Morris inside the box. Jordan Morris didn't have anything on it in the end, and then a collision. And that will make Venezuela happy. That last bit of contact with Acosta coming through.
Acosta perhaps a little overeager to get on the end of this one. Contreras looked as though he'd had it covered pretty comfortably. He comes in, he does catch him late. Youthful exuberance, we will call that.
That's good. Well, that's the third time he's been down. The crowd has given it to him. They still have subs that they can make if they want to.
I think if I'm Bruce Arena in this moment, I want to get Christian Pulisic off, because he's going to be a key player. That goes without saying for the next 2 games, but you want him fresh. He's coming off the back of a long season. You want him at his best against Trinidad. If you're up, ideally, by a goal, the game feels comfortably. You want to bring him off and save him for that game down in Mexico, because it's such a short turnaround. You have to take travel into account. You're going down to Azteca Stadium.
Remember what the debate was, you know, is he too young? Do you play him? Do you start him? You know, it's a tournament. Should he play? Should they wait? There's no more debate. He's an important member of the starting 11. He's there.
But I think we're at a point now with U.S. soccer and the way that starting to see some of these young players develop, both overseas and in the domestic league. If you're good enough, you should play.
Right.
And you have coaches that are willing to invest in youth and give these players an opportunity. Went back to Jurgen Klinsmann. I remember it was that game against Trinidad and Tobago, the World Cup qualifier. It was his first start. He's never looked back.
Here's Morris, saved by Contreras. The guy that's been down 3 times with an injury, he exploded off that line. Venezuela looking to sneak back on the counter. In the middle of the park, it goes to Romero. Options on both sides. Rondon and Savarino make runs for Murillo. Nice couple of moves there. Forced out wide. 81st minute. Venezuela has some good young talent. Names that you don't recognize at home watching, but names that you might in the future. Driven in from distance, well wide of Tim Howard.
Michael Bradley pass, it was a mistouch from Bobby Wood. He's trying to bring that one in and control it. And as you said, JP, Contreras comes quickly off his line to make that challenge. Chooses to go down with his feet. Morris just can't quite get a touch on it to lift it over him.
Pulisic fouled by Villanueva. These 3 subs are still up for the U.S. No one near the 4th official. 82nd minute. A better response from the U.S. here in the second half. After trailing 1-0 at halftime and a goal by Velasquez. That came in the 30th minute. In the 62nd minute, Christian Pulisic gets his 5th international goal, and the U.S. is even. Bradley.
This is what the 3-man back line can give you. Both of your fullbacks so far up the field. DeAndre Yedlin Villafana when you're in possession, because Michael Bradley can slide back deeper. There's Villafana, Jordan Morris rather.
Now it's Villafana. In the middle. That pass. Pulisic. Drew contact, advantage call. Morris holds. Trying to find the open man. Pulisic wanted to foul the free kick, but the referee did call advantage, and it did look like the U.S. was going to have one.
And then the play slowed up a little bit, and Venezuela got numbers behind the ball. I think they would rather have...
Yeah. I think Morris slowed down because he thought he was going to get the foul there, I believe.
It came after a little flick. For some reason, Christian Pulisic always has an ability to second touch off the knee. Doesn't matter. He still gets there. Has that quick burst of speed to be able to just glide and get a touch, dance around defenders.
We're going to make the change here on this corner kick. Francisco Lamantia comes in for Junior Moreno. Made his Venezuela debut tonight. Once that switch is made, onto the corner for Kellen Acosta. Gonzalez among the big targets. It's Contreras grabbing it before Gonzalez could, rolling it ahead. Moved upfield, intended for Sabrina. The offside flag is up.
The referee acknowledging it, going to play on.
Costa. Bobby Wood. Costa's pass for Villafana. Wood over there to help out as Acosta. Nice idea, nice pass. Pulisic at the end line. Pulisic sends it all the way across, headed away. Bradley will bring it down. Good first ball to keep the pressure on. Yedlin, Morris, right at goal. That was well done by the U.S. to get that crack at goal. First winning possession, then getting an offensive threat.
And this is what these games are for. A lot of times, JP, a friendly before two important qualifier. It's to iron out some of those little kinks in the movement and getting a better rhythm and an understanding. And we've seen as this game's gone on, the United States have grown into it. They've been stronger. I thought they've looked very comfortable in this 3-5-2 formation.
No shot was blocked by Bradley. Pulisic, who can drift wide as well as central, taking it wide, cutting inside. The pass that was behind Morris.
Because there's no need to try and go in for a hard 50-50 in the 85th minute of a friendly. So that was a good decision by Jordan Morris.
Villanueva for Venezuela. Osorio. Camacho. Trying to find Salarino. That's Acosta. Back on the ball. Acosta very involved. Give was late. Villafana is able to cross it. It's going to be picked up by Romero. The block from Acosta. Gave him no room. The U.S. putting pressure there, trying to win the ball high. Off this flick. It's well done. It's Hedges who made that play. Made it seem simple and clean. Yedlin. On, he loses it there.
It's good defending by Omar Gonzalez. Because as Rondon was running at that back three, Murillo had made a darting run across. The U.S. kept their shape really well. Didn't allow that option, that pass, kept a high line, sent him offside, and then Gonzalez gets a foot in. Good defending.
Push there. It's going to be ruled a goal kick. Venezuela's going to make another sub. As we're nearing the final moments of this match. Two players going for a ball.
Defenders in that situation, I played with one of the best at it, Eddie Robinson. He was on my team, thankfully, but I used to get so frustrated when you're an attacking player. Any type of contact, if a defender feels it, go to the floor, and about 95% of the time, you're going to get that call from the referee. I'm sure Eddie Robinson is listening to this broadcast, and he's probably laughing to himself because he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Jeffrey Vargas is going to be coming in, replacing Jean Murillo, who also had an effective game for Venezuela. So Vargas comes in just his second international appearance. The U.S. will make a change too. That's Graham Zusi, number 19, who's getting ready to come in. And we assume he'll go back into this back three as a right back because that's the position he's been playing.
Yeah, I think he'll play as that right wing back for DeAndre Yedlin on the right-hand side.
Back in the back four at Sporting Kansas City. So that would make sense if they want to keep it in the back three. The two some play there where Yedlin is. We'll see. Look at Acosta. Had Villafana, but couldn't find them.
Just saw Graham Zusi having a word with the fourth official. I think he's asking how much stoppage time are we going to have.
Meanwhile, Andres Ponce is also up by the fourth.
Staff is very good. His movement, his understanding with Fabian Johnson as a partnership on that right-hand side. And then on the second half, the game naturally shifted to this left, and most of the United States play came through Villafana, came through Nagbe, Pulisic, who drifted and found those little pockets. So not as involved in the second half. But a good outing, got himself 90 minutes.
Costa drives in, headed wide. Gonzalez, who's good in the air, came flying through.
Bit back towards. Wonder if we'll see him these next two games. I would guess it's more likely
He knows how to play at altitude, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Top side, Pachuca. Contreras being told to not waste time. Ponce up by that fourth official. Awaiting a chance to play in this game. Romero. Archer couldn't keep it alive. Foul there on the U.S. and now it's going the other way. Let's see if we'll see the sub now or not. Ponce's itching to come in. And they will allow it for Salomon Rondon, who's going to give the captain's armband to Villanueva.
This back line, and not really where we've seen him strength, which is in the air, inside the box, finishing off chances.
He did take up space though, and it probably allowed other guys like Machis to have some room. Villafana.
I thought Villafana tonight has had I would say, relatively quiet but yet efficient performance for the United States at left back. It's a consistent couple of games now.
Starting 11 we saw tonight could be what we'll see against Trinidad and Tobago.
I do think so. I do think that would be the back four that we'll see, especially after the performance again. A little maybe question mark around John Brooks if he was brought off as precaution or if he did pick up some type of knock, and how quickly can he recover. The midfield, I thought the understanding between them was much better. If it's Nagbe on that left-hand side, Fabian Johnson as a right midfielder, him and Yedlin up on down the right. And as you said, I do think it is between those two in Copa America. They will run, they will fight, they will stretch that Mexican defense. They can hold it up, provide a transitional element. I think Condemsi will have more space in the Trinidad game to get himself a couple of goals and have a bigger impact.
Zusi.
But I'm not the coach, JP.
No, but you said if. You said it. Acosta. Trying to get the return. Knocked away. It's fought hard to win it back.
It's a great problem to have, though, isn't it?
It is. That's going to do it.
2 games in a close proximity, rotation.
Rotation, right? That's it. Well, U.S. had a better second half, but they couldn't quite put away Venezuela. This was a good test for the U.S., though.
It was. It was a good warm-up. Some good, some bad, some great, some not so great, but a lot for Bruce Arena to look at now, and he's going to look at the tape tomorrow They're back to Colorado tonight on a charter. And Bruce Arena will get his team now prepared for the big game on Thursday against Trinidad and Tobago.
It's 3 games in 9 nights. There's a man that scored the goal, Christian Pulisic, his 5th international goal. It came in the 62nd minute. Really, when the U.S. needed a spark, he was able to provide it.
He was. And we talk about difference makers in games that are tight and games where maybe they haven't been at their best in the attacking third. He was always the one throughout the first half and then into the second half that looked like he was going to be capable of doing it. And he turned up with that one moment yet again. Getting a little word from the veterans, Clint Dempsey, Jeff Cameron.
He got 90 minutes in again, though.
He did. And one thing that I'm seeing in him, and I like seeing that competitive drive, is he's not satisfied. He doesn't look satisfied. It was 1-1, and as we said, the United States would have liked a better performance, but yet still some positives to draw from, and yet again, he is one of those.
Now let's take a look at the Century 21 player of the game in action.
And who is it? Christian Pulisic again, and comes in on that right foot, found the space at the top of the box, just a little cut, quick, good feet in tight space, and then the finish to go with it.
He knew that was a goal when it left his foot. I just watched in the reaction. He knew. Terrific shot, nothing that Contreras could do. So this is a final, 1-1. USA and Venezuela will try to get some player reaction when we come back to Rio Tinto. Stay with us.